Hello, I am here at the LA Times Book Festival, and I'm hoping my phone connection is good enough to stream this, but let me show you guys around. We're at the Inner Traditions booth. There's the sign for my book, and I am down here signing copies of John Dee and the Empire of Angels, and a bunch of people stopped by, which was awesome.
Yeah, those popping in and out.
Looks like we're popping in and out because of the connection. Okay, so yeah, I'm at the Inner Traditions booth, hanging out here at the LA Times Book Festival. There's John Graham, my illustrious editor and acquisitions editor of Inner Traditions, and here is Aaron, the illustrious designer of the cover of the book. So if you've seen this book, this is the man who's responsible, so thank him. So LA Times Book Festival is the oldest and most illustrious book festival on the West Coast. And the first time I ever came here, I was 15 years old, and I met Ray Bradbury and got a book signed by him, and I was awestruck to meet a legendary author. And then during that same LA Times Book Festival, I remember harassing Scientologists about the story of Jack Parsons and asking them why they'd stolen his work. I don't know why I even knew about that at 15. I think I'd read about it in a comic book or something. But but now it's over. It's 21 years later, and I'm signing books here, and you can see there's my Meet the Author thing. So I'm super happy about this, obviously, and grateful that people are actually reading the book, and everyone who's been, reading and, cares what I have to say to help me get here. So I'm super thankful for that. Yeah, so I've just met, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so people came down to meet me and talk about how they found out about me and their interest in magic, and that was really, really cool to get to talk to people. Somebody's saying channel your inner review bra. It's hard. That would be amazing though. So yeah, so obviously there's the book. By the way, the end of tonight is the absolute deadline to get this book, whether it's on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com or anywhere else, ebook or not, or physical book. If you get the book tonight and send me the receipt through at m@magick.me, or just send me the receipt. Go to Ultra Culture. The first post will tell you how to redeem the deal, or just look on my Facebook page till you find the post about it. Tonight's the night. If you send me that, you get the free course on angelic, Anunnaki, and magic. Tomorrow, which is now set for 1 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, it is free for anyone who has ordered the book or pre-ordered or gotten an ebook and sends me the receipt. That's it. But if you miss it, if you miss out, that's it. That's it. If you miss out, you miss out. It's not going to be offered again. I'm not going to sell the course. It's not going to be for sale. That's it. I mean, if you have to miss the time, that's okay, as long as you're registered, because you will be able to watch the recording forever as long as you want. But if you don't register by the end of tonight, you're out of luck. That's it. Never to be offered again. So yeah. But hey, if you come down here, they're selling them for 50% off, by the way. $20. That's a pretty good deal. I don't know how much longer and unfortunately we can't do that if you're not here, but I don't know how much longer this is going to last, but if you're in LA, come down and you can get it cheap and I'll sign it. Yeah, so you can see in the background there's my author poster. Pretty exciting. And I'll introduce you again to my editor, John Graham, who has some. This book could not have happened without John, who believed in me enough to read my proposal and go for it. So you must thank him above all else for this book happening. And John has some related books, I think, too, that you wanted to show that are maybe of interest to you.
Anybody that likes Jason's work would probably find Carl Abrahamson's book on occult extremely interesting. This would dovetail with the latter part of Jason's book, where Carl talks about how occult ideas have been moving culture forward.
It's a great book.
And another...
yeah, just as an aside, by the way, Carl is... so this is a great book. I've read it. It's excellent. Carl and I worked on the Psychic Bible together, and he's an old Topi person from back in the day, and is getting much more known now for doing the Fenris Wolf and his various publishing projects from Europe. So that's a good one to check out for sure.
And another new book, as readers of Jason's book know, Aleister Crowley makes an appearance, and our author Tobias Churton did a huge investigation of all of Aleister Crowley's adventures in the United States. It's a fascinating book, highly recommended.
Yeah, Tobias is probably at least one of my very most top favorite occult writers writing right now. This is actually the third book he's done about Crowley. He did a biography, and then he did one called The Beast in Berlin, and about Crowley's time in Berlin. And I had him on my podcast, which is on YouTube now if you want to look for it, talking about Crowley. He's probably, the foremost Crowley expert in the world right now. And this one is all about Crowley's time in America, coming over and interesting people, trying to get people interested in Thelema and meeting Freemasons and things like that. And it's huge. Look at this. It's bigger than the John Dee book. And it's just about one period of Crowley's life. He's really gone for it. So check that one out. And it has sex magic in the title, so you know it must be good. And then I think we have Aki Sederberg's book too. So my friend Aki, I haven't met in person, but has written this, which Journeys in the Kali Yuga. Sorry, this video's backwards, by the way. I can't get the iPhone. I'm a newbie to Facebook Live. The iPhone does this when you reverse it, so forgive me. But the title of this is Journeys in the Kali Yuga, and Aki this is a biography, a travelogue, where Aki actually had a very similar journey to me, which is fascinating, and I want to hopefully do a podcast with him at some point and talk about it, because he's from Europe, but he got just as I did in my 20s, he got super hardcore into Hinduism and Tantra and esoteric Hinduism, but then gravitated back to his own tradition, which in his case was the runes and northern neo-paganism and the Norse gods like Odin and Thor and Freya and all of that. And he just rediscovered his own people's ancestral religion from before Christianity. But he had to go through Hinduism to rediscover the pagan religion of his own culture. This looks awesome, and John is very, very amazingly given me a free copy, so I'm going to read this when I get home. But I had a very similar kind of journey where I got really into Tantra and Hinduism, but then I gravitated back towards Hermeticism, so more Western magic, and that's why I've gotten so fascinated again with Hermeticism for the last 7 years now. Okay, but yeah, so here I'll show you around. We're on the campus of the University of Southern California, by the way. This is USC. I'll show you. Festival's starting to wind down a little bit now, but this is an amazing festival. I've been coming to it over the years. It's really interesting because there's always lots of occulty booths. So like the Theosophical Society always has a booth here. Scientology's always here. But I met some great writers here. Obviously Ray Bradbury that I mentioned. I met Jeff Vandermeer here a couple years ago. That was amazing. I met Steve Erickson, who's a great fiction author a few years ago. Great LA fiction writer. And probably a lot of other people that I'm forgetting. So this is one of my favorite events that I come to every year, and now I get to be signing books. I did ask them to let me talk, but unfortunately it was like long after they'd finalized the program. So hopefully next year I'll be able to do a presentation on an actual talk on the occult and magical subjects. But until then, here's where we're at. All right, so there's the book. There's me. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. So I was telling everybody on, I want to show you something really quick. Before I forget, I was telling everybody on social media and my email list that the first printing of this book was going to sell out and very likely become a collector's item. And that has absolutely happened, by the way. So they've already gone through the first print run. As you can see, John, if you would be so kind to show the print numbers. So the books they have here are the second printing. And you can see that it's missing the one. So just a little bit, you may not know this about books, but this is fascinating. You can check out books you have now. You see the sequence of numbers, and I'm sorry it's backwards, but it goes from 10 to 1. Now, this is in the copyright page of every book, but every time they do a new printing, they take one number off. So here you can see the 1 is missing, which means that this is the second printing. This is a printer's convention that goes back, I think, hundreds of years. So when it's the third printing, it'll just be 3, and then it goes up like that. So that's right, that's correct, right, John?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the second printing, and if I'm right, the second printing is now sold out too, right? Is that?
Well, it's pretty close. I think we're going to have to go back for a third pretty soon. It's been moving really quick.
So you were saying that the second printing went out to the distributors that went to Amazon and Barnes and Noble and stuff. So, and then they'll, once it's out of their warehouses, then that'll be the end of the second print.
Yeah, then they'll start, once we have the number of in inventory that says if we don't print today, we're going to run out, we'll put in for the third printing, and I think that's pretty soon.
Amazing.
So it's been doing really well.
Nice. So I wasn't kidding, by the way. I was telling everyone, get the first printing while you can. It's already gone. So if you got one of the first printings, count yourself lucky and hold on to it, because it may go up in value. As I was telling people, the Psychic Bible that I did, the Genesis, the first print run of that people are trying to sell it on Amazon for $2,000. Or I've heard people told me they've seen it for more than that. I don't know for sure if this will go up that much, but people love secondhand occult books because they become collector's items. There's a collector's market for secondhand occult books. Now, so even if you didn't get the first print run, though, I urge you, grab a copy today, like now, while you still can, because today is the last day of the offer for the free Angelic and Enochian Magic class. If you get the book by the end of today, for instance, on Amazon, and then just forward me the Amazon receipt, or barnesandnoble.com, or through the publisher, as long as you email me the receipt from the purchase transaction, even if you haven't got your book in the mail yet, you will have access to the free course on Angelic and Enochian Magic tomorrow, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., more or less, Pacific Standard Time, to be live streamed in HD, and then it will be recorded if you missed that time or part of that time. But if you don't sign up by the end of today, you will never get another chance. That's it. You can't buy it. I'm not going to offer it again. It's free, but you gotta send me the receipt from the book. Only way to get it. All right. So I think that's probably it. Unless anyone has any questions, I'll probably sign off, because I know you have Saturdays to get back to. All right. Well, I will say goodbye then, and say goodbye to John and Aaron.
Hey.
All right. Say bye, Aaron.
See you later, guys.
All right. Thanks for checking us out, and check out, you can see the book at johnd007.com. Snag it now and get the free class, and you can see the rest of Inner Traditions books at innertraditions.com. The world's greatest occult publisher, full of amazing stuff that you will love. Okay, bye guys. Talk to you later.